They brand you as weak just because you choose to be quiet. They declare you insignificant, unremarkable, simply because they deem you boring. They proclaim that to succeed in this life, you must be loud, ostentatious, always entertaining, and constantly seeking attention like a jester in a bustling crowd. And sadly, you've completely bought into those words. You believed every sneer, every time they called you boring. You believed every rejection when they declared you lacked charisma. You believed the lie that your quietness was a weakness, your persistence a burden, and your reserved nature a confining prison. Yet there's a truth they never wanted you to hear. Those quiet souls dismissed as boring are far from weak. They are unpredictable, impossible to fully comprehend. And in the end, they are always the ones left standing. History never remembers the jesters. History only honors those who resiliently outlast everyone. The show-offs, they burn brightly and quickly, like fireworks. In contrast, quiet souls are resilient, enduring like bedrock. Those dismissed as boring, they quietly observe, while others exhaust themselves chasing fleeting vanities. And when all the noise settles, it is the quiet ones who remain standing, stronger, sharper, and more formidable than anyone who ever doubted them. Think of Machiavelli, who whispered truths about power from exile, while kings and conquerors destroyed themselves with their own hubris. Think of Jung, who quietly sat, delving into the subconscious, while louder voices dismissed him, until the world itself had to bow before the weight of his profound ideas. Think of Nietzsche, solitary and ailing, forgotten, yet who left behind words so incisive they still echo through centuries. You once bought into a common lie, a simple misconception, that silence is a sign of weakness, and true strength lies in making noise. But the truth you're about to uncover is far darker and more profound. In reality, noise is merely a distraction, while silence conceals meticulous calculation and a deceptively dull exterior. That seemingly intimidating facade is actually a veil for individuals too principled, too disciplined to concern themselves with pointless antics. You've been laughed at, overlooked, and ruthlessly dismissed, yet within that very invisibility lies your most potent weapon. They cannot defend against what they fail to comprehend. They cannot strike at what they cannot identify. They cannot anticipate what they have dismissed. This isn't just empty encouragement, it's a profound revelation. This game was always rigged in your favor, and in this video, you'll uncover the profound reasons why. The seemingly dull and quiet individuals are secretly wielding supreme power in a world obsessed with noise. Now let's embark on this journey of discovery together. You've been forgotten, overlooked in every conversation, pushed to the sidelines in noisy crowds. You were left behind as the louder ones captured every eye, commanded all attention, and you mistakenly believed this was a weakness. You once believed invisibility was a curse. But listen very closely, because it is absolutely not a curse. Instead, it is a potent weapon. The show-offs, the noisy ones, constantly live under relentless scrutiny. Every word, every action, and their smallest missteps are scrutinized and magnified. The brilliant glory they achieved, ironically, became the very flame that consumed them. They could neither conceal themselves nor find any peace. Every move they make inadvertently exposes their every scheme, yet you remain hidden in the shadows of the night. No one anticipates your next move. No one expects you to rise to ultimate power. And that is precisely why you occupy the most precarious position, the observer, concealed in the shadows. When underestimated, you gain absolute freedom, free to observe, free to gather every piece of intelligence, free to meticulously study every vulnerability of those who mistakenly believe they are superior to you. A tranquil mind comprehends what the verbose cannot. An unassuming exterior allows you to grasp every detail. Those who flaunt their power will never perceive this. This is, after all, not a new wisdom. In The Prince, Machiavelli clearly articulated that a ruler must conceal their power until the opportune moment. Unlike the roaring lion, the fox patiently waits, quietly observes, and remains hidden in plain sight. When the lion grows reckless, that is when the fox moves in to seize everything. Psychologists today refer to this as social invisibility. When dismissed, the opponent will lower their guard. They will expose their every thought, every plan, and their very arrogance. Have you ever wondered why they keep rambling on? It's simply because they believe you're utterly worthless. Yet, in that very same excessive arrogance, they inadvertently hand you the map to their own downfall. Imagine an intense poker game, the loud players constantly slamming chips, flaunting their hands, and striving to dominate the table. Meanwhile, the quiet one, the one nobody pays attention to, silently observes, memorizing every subtle pattern. He gathers all the necessary information, slowly wearing down his opponents until, suddenly, it's too late, and he has completely taken control of the game. And you are that player, the one they mocked before the game began, and the one they'll tremble in fear of when it ends. Engrave this in your heart. Being underestimated doesn't mean you're weak. In fact, it's how you conceal your true strength. Your invisibility blinds them, your silence deceives all judgment, and your patience will slowly choke them. Even the great Julius Caesar was underestimated in his youth, mocked as weak, and dismissed as an insignificant threat. His enemies never realized the fierce will hidden deep within those eyes until all of Rome was firmly in his grasp. Or consider Tesla, who toiled in solitude, forgotten while Edison basked in the glory of fame. Yet it was Tesla's genius ideas that illuminated the entire modern world we live in. The underestimated always win because no one prepares for their unexpected rise. Society constantly tells you, you must be seen, you must be noticed. The idea that being heard, being praised is important is actually just a lie designed to turn you into a fool in this chaotic attention market. The harsh truth reveals that true power belongs to those who don't waste themselves chasing fleeting praise. Remember, every time you're underestimated, you take another step forward. Every time you're overlooked, you become sharper. And every time you're dismissed, you become exponentially stronger. The loud ones are busy proving themselves. The quiet ones are busy preparing for their moment. And then, when meticulous preparation meets the perfect timing, the underestimated will unleash a decisive blow that no one could have foreseen. So let them mock, let them laugh, let them overwhelm you with their noise. Because in that noise they reveal everything, while in your silence, you lose nothing at all. A truth few suspect. The seemingly dull and silent one emerges victorious, not by attracting attention, but by being forgotten until it's too late. This is the first rule of power you must grasp. To be underestimated means you are armed. Don't be mistaken. Silence is not emptiness. It is a powerful pressure. Silence is power. When you remain silent, the world around you grows uneasy. People will rush to fill that void with anxious chatter. They will inadvertently confess more than they intended, exposing weaknesses they meant to keep hidden. They expose themselves. Because your silence forces them to endure discomfort, you mistakenly believe that speaking proves strength. Absolutely not. Speaking only proves a need. The need to be heard, the need to be validated, the need to be accepted. Those who cannot endure silence are enslaved by it, but those who master silence control the entire room. In negotiations, silence is a sharp blade. State your position, then wait patiently. Never explain. Don't try to appease. Don't rescue them from their own discomfort. Watch them squirm. They will reveal their desperation before you reveal yours in the conflict. Silence is a threat. The loudest arguer has lost their calm. The silent, still, unpredictable one is a threat. He is the one you can never anticipate. Even in relationships, silence can exert control when you stop answering every question. When you resist the urge to explain yourself, you create an enigma, and that enigma always holds a lure. Humans are always drawn to what they cannot understand. Carl Jung once warned that what we suppress, what we bury in silence, does not simply vanish. They grow in the shadows, silently shaping who we are. Most men fear their own silence, for they dread what will surface if they stop talking. But you, when you embrace silence, you will master both yourself and others. Have you ever wondered why Nietzsche held such contempt for idle chatter? He outright labeled it the noise of the herd. For Nietzsche, silence wasn't merely the absence of sound. It was the hallmark of a profound thinker, one who only spoke when every word carried weight and value. Those who speak too much are easily deciphered. Conversely, silent individuals possess an unpredictable, hidden power. Imagine a courtroom, a witness who speaks vaguely and at length will immediately be mercilessly picked apart and twisted by the opposing lawyer. Conversely, someone who gives concise, sharp answers makes the prosecutor wary, even fearful. Why is that? Because true control doesn't stem from loud displays, but is found in the ability to restrain and master oneself. Think of war. A general who constantly shouts and issues orders across the battlefield will inadvertently reveal their entire battle plan. Conversely, a general who patiently remains silent, conceals their intentions, holds their ground, and leaves the enemy in a state of panicked uncertainty, that is the one who will crush their opponent without mercy. You need to understand a truth. Silence has the power to destabilize others because it forces them to confront themselves directly. And sadly, most people cannot face themselves. They'd rather immerse themselves in distractions to escape. However, you are different. You have the ability to endure silence. What's more, you can turn it into a formidable weapon of your own. You can stand in the middle of a room without uttering a word, and in that powerful silence, you completely dominate everything around you. So, never feel guilty about your quietness again. Don't try to fill the air with meaningless, empty words. Don't seek approval from those who fear silence. Every word you hold back unspoken will make you infinitely stronger. Every pause you create makes them weaker. Every silence you forge becomes an arena where you hold absolute control. This is the profound psychology of silence. It is not the absence of words. It is the powerful presence of power. And once you have completely mastered this art, no one can read you, no one can control you, and no one will forget the fear you sow in the haunting gaps between your words. You're often told that boredom equals death, that if your life isn't interesting, glamorous, or dramatic, it's utterly worthless, that if you lack constant stimulation, you are failing. But that is a blatant lie, and it has ruined countless lives, more than you can imagine. A surprising truth: boredom is not weakness. In fact, it's the very essence of endurance. It is boredom that provides the discipline to rise above all chaos. We live in a world that glorifies excitement, parties, drama, and constant moments of euphoria. But what is the fate of those who burn themselves out chasing stimulation? They will collapse. They are utterly exhausted. Their lives pass quickly, end prematurely, leaving nothing but ashes. Meanwhile, those who appear boring and quiet, often ridiculed for their routines, their stillness, and their seeming lack of joy. They are the persistent ones. They rise slowly, quietly, without fanfare. By the time the show-offs are exhausted, the boring ones are the only ones left standing. The Stoics recognized this truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote his Meditations daily, a relentless, repetitive habit. There was nothing glorious, even quite boring, but those words, forged from discipline, have outlasted every lavish party and every Roman spectacle. What seemed boring at the moment, in the long run, became immortal. Even in military strategy, this principle is clearly evident. Armies that squander their strength on reckless attacks will quickly collapse. Only those that march slowly, conserve energy, and stoically endure hardship are the ones who win wars. Victory doesn't belong to dramatic actions, but to the seemingly boring repetition of discipline. Modern psychologists call this the advantage of delayed gratification. The show-off seeks instant gratification. The boring one waits patiently, accumulating, building, investing. They are more persistent, and ultimately, patience always triumphs over impulsiveness. Consider business. The founders who built empires were not the loudest people in the boardroom. They were the ones who spent years, even decades, quietly refining, repeating, and resolutely resisting all distractions. Their rivals mocked their seemingly boring obsession until they acquired entire industries. Have you ever wondered about Warren Buffett's life? It's surprisingly simple, repetitive, even somewhat monotonous. There's no chaos or drama, yet that very boring nature is his secret to weathering market storms that have drowned countless show-offs. Monotony isn't a weakness, it's his most formidable shield. What about you? Have you ever felt your life was too ordinary, too peaceful, devoid of major events? You possess an advantage others will never have. While they expend energy chasing dazzling peaks, you quietly build strength by resiliently navigating deep valleys. They blaze in fleeting glory, while you steadfastly endure in silence. They shine brilliantly for a moment, while you stand as solid as a rock. This is the inverted truth you must grasp. What the world often labels boring is precisely the key to ensuring existence, sustainability, and ultimately, supreme power. So never envy the noisy, don't admire the reckless, and don't crave drama. Their ascent is merely a fleeting performance, but their downfall is inevitable. Instead, cherish your patience, be proud of your enduring habits, and take pride in your ability to stand firm amidst any chaos. Because, in a world obsessed with distraction, the one who can maintain monotony is precisely the one who cannot be beaten. This is your latent advantage, your protective shield, and your crown of power. Those who seem boring will never fade. They will inherit everything. There exists a unique power, more dangerous than wealth, more effective than any charm, and more enduring than any physical strength. That is the power of being underestimated. When they underestimate you, they let their guard down. When they mock you, they expose their own weaknesses. When they label you boring, quiet, invisible, they will completely let their guard down. And that is the perfect moment for you to deliver the decisive blow. History has witnessed countless individuals pay with their lives for underestimating and mocking someone who seemed insignificant. Did you know? Julius Caesar quickly mastered the art of hiding his immense hunger for power beneath a humble facade. He cleverly cultivated the image of a weak, harmless individual, utterly devoid of any desire for power in the eyes of the Romans. And then, by the time they awoke to the truth, it was already too late. He had completely consolidated his power. This is a powerful paradox. The more others underestimate you, the sharper your blade becomes. The reason? Because invisibility grants you privileged access to their deepest secrets, their fatal blind spots, and the levers of power they would never expose to an equal. Consider that quiet employee in the office, always overlooked in meetings, even ridiculed for their unassuming appearance. While the show-offs were busy seeking applause, he quietly listened, diligently learned, and continuously honed his skills. Then, without a word of warning, he surpassed them all. Ultimately, he achieved promotion, well-deserved recognition, and power. How did this happen? Simply because the arrogant ones never saw him coming. Even Machiavelli concluded, a wise ruler must know how to appear weak when strong, and harmless when in fact they are extremely dangerous. That very harmless facade will cause enemies to completely drop their guard. It lulls them into a deep sleep of complacency. They will automatically expose their fatal weaknesses, believing you lack the will to exploit them. And when the decisive moment arrives, you will strike, causing their complete downfall. Modern psychology confirms this. People always erect strong defensive walls against those they fear, yet completely neglect their defenses against those they deem irrelevant. It is precisely by being underestimated that you can effortlessly bypass those formidable walls that obstruct louder and more ostentatious rivals. You effortlessly glide past obstacles that others struggle and stumble over. Do you truly grasp the profound significance behind this? Every time someone dismisses you, they are inadvertently handing you an enormous advantage. Every insult becomes a sturdy shield. Every doubt transforms into a powerful lever. Every time they declare you are nothing, they are blinding themselves to your unstoppable and powerful ascent. Imagine, the day the truth is revealed, when the one they once mocked quietly steps forward with absolute confidence. The shock will be undeniable, their rival's defeat even more humiliating, a complete and utter domination. This isn't natural drive, this is masterful manipulation. You don't need to strive to prove your worth. Instead, let them believe you're nothing special until you unveil everything at the most pivotal, crucial moment. This world is consumed by the obsession to flaunt power, and that very obsession will be their undoing. But you, let the obsession of being underestimated become your guiding star, for it will be the launch pad that propels you to the highest peak. So let them underestimate you, encourage it, even cultivate it. Smile when they label you boring, nod when they deem you uncharismatic, and simply agree when they declare you'll never reach the top. Because each dismissal is a moment you sharpen your blade, preparing for the day of reckoning. And when you finally reveal yourself, when the underestimated one suddenly becomes undeniable, the world will be stunned, unable to comprehend how it happened. But you'll know, because you saw this coming all along. Being underestimated is never your weakness. Remember, it is the most potent weapon you wield. True power belongs neither to the strongest nor the loudest. It belongs to those who can patiently outweight everyone else. This is the immutable law of latent patience, and now it is entirely yours to command. Those labeled boring and silent are often ridiculed for their quietude, their slow progress, and their unhurried demeanor. But what the world mistakes for sluggishness is, in fact, astonishing persistence. While others are busy chasing fleeting rewards, you are quietly preparing for great inevitable triumphs. In psychology, this is known as delayed gratification, the ability to forego immediate pleasures for significant long-term gains. Every scientific study has proven its efficacy. Those who can patiently wait, who can delay gratification, and who can endure hardship will achieve more resounding victories, greater accomplishments, and superior domination. The ostentatious always demand instant gratification. The patient, however, know that the finest rewards arrive at their own opportune moment. Psychologist Carl Jung once spoke of the process of individuation, a slow yet certain journey for individuals to become whole and complete. He understood that psychological development cannot be rushed. It unfolds quietly, deep beneath the surface, entirely invisible to those who only chase applause and external validation. The quiet ones, those deemed boring, are silently cultivating inner strength, while others squander themselves on external frivolities. Look at the stock market, the impatient rush in light gamblers, frantically chasing fleeting surges, only to lose everything. Conversely, the patient investor calmly waits, enduring crashes, financial storms, and panics. And when the market cycle concludes, he emerges wealthier than all those who rushed in. Look at historical wars. Impulsive generals often charge in recklessly, leading to disastrous defeat. Conversely, patient generals hold their ground, endure all pressure, await the perfect moment, and then unleash an unstoppable, devastating attack. Do you know the secret to true power? Patience is the key, turning time into the ultimate weapon in your grasp. Every moment you bravely endure, every obstacle you conquer, every temptation you resist, all of it is forging a sharp, unique advantage for you. While others chase fleeting victories, you are quietly building your inner strength, preparing for a pivotal, game-changing battle. And here's the surprising truth. A life that appears mundane actually holds the very essence of patience. You are not swept up in endless dramas. You are not a slave to impulsive urges. You have the strength to wait, to endure, to grow in silence until no one can ever underestimate you again. This patience is not weakness. It is an unavoidable strategy. It's like a noose slowly tightening or a silent pressure building until the entire world can no longer resist you. Imagine a mountain. It doesn't form overnight. It rises over centuries, silently, steadfastly, unyielding. That is what your patience builds, an unstoppable force. So let others rush. Let them chase fleeting pleasures, instant recognition, and quick victories. They are like fireworks, brilliant then fading. You are like a rock, steadfast and eternal. They are temporary. You are inevitable. This is the golden rule of hidden patience. What takes a long time to form will endure. What is built slowly cannot be destroyed in an instant. What is endured in silence will become unstoppable over time. You are not slow, you are not weak, you are not falling behind, you are patiently waiting, you are quietly preparing, you are steadily becoming a force. And when the world finally awakens, realizing what you have painstakingly built, it will be too late to stop you. Because the quiet and seemingly mundane don't just win, they win because they knew how to wait. You once began this journey believing you were invisible. You once thought your perceived boredom made you weak. You once believed your quietness made you ordinary. But now you realize the very characteristics they once criticized and scorned are the immutable laws of power. You were underestimated, and that allowed you to escape all scrutiny. You could quietly observe while others exposed everything. You remained silent, and that silence made every room you entered tremble. You seemed boring, but that very boredom became enduring resilience, outlasting all showmanship. You were scorned, and that very scorn transformed into your sharpest advantage. You are patient, and that patience has made time your most powerful ally. Can you feel this metamorphosis? You are no longer the faint shadow they once mistook you for. Prepare yourself, for you are the master no one saw coming. The show-offs often burn bright only to quickly fizzle out. You, however, steadily advance in silence. They clamor for every shred of attention, flaunting everything. You, on the other hand, fight for what is essential, what cannot be done without. The complacent ones are quick to reveal all their plans. You keep your secrets close until everything is in place. This is the moment to redefine who you are. You are not dull. Instead, you are an unpredictable enigma. You don't merely stay silent, you are an impenetrable fortress. You are not invisible, you are an undeniable truth. Let's reflect on the great empires throughout history. It wasn't the lavish feasts, the entertainers, or the jesters who shaped their destinies. Rather, it was the resilient architects, the hidden strategists, the forgotten creators who truly shaped the eras. It was Caesar, patiently biding his time in the shadows. It was Machiavelli, whispering truths behind closed doors. It was Nietzsche, toiling in solitude, heedless of the mocking crowds. And now it is your moment to shine. You don't appear to vie for their fleeting attention. You are here to outlast them, to surpass them with wisdom, to rise when they have self-destructed in their own noise and chaos. This is the moment you are reborn. The weak, timid self will forever vanish here. The one who once had to justify their silence no longer exists. The one who once felt ashamed of their monotony has been buried deep. In its place stands an extraordinary intellect, unpredictable, powerful, and destined for victory. You have escaped your ghostly existence. You are the master of your destiny. That is enough. No more apologies, no more shame for your silence. No more inferiority complex for your unassuming nature. From this moment forward, you will declare these qualities your rule of life. Silence is your sharpest weapon. Patience is your impenetrable shield. Your ability to remain hidden is your crown of power. You do not belong to the crowd. You are part of a mysterious order, exceptional individuals who always triumph in the end. This channel is not mere entertainment. It is a path to enlightenment. Each video is not a distraction. It is an intensive training session. If you are still here, it proves you are one of us, the forgotten, the underestimated, the unpredictable. So take the final step and integrate into this order. Subscribe not as a mere follower, but as a member of the brotherhood of the silent and unassuming, those destined to dominate when all others crumble.